Well, greetings, everyone, and welcome once again to our Saturday fantasy show. As you can see down on it right here, and our Cash App is $JEK3. I guess you're wondering what the hell is going on. Well, after the performance by the Buffalo Bills on Thursday night, a lot of my fantasy teams are in the toilet. So I decided not to show all of my face right here first thing in the morning. But oddly enough, the one team that hasn't let me down are the Pittsburgh Steelers. I had no expectations going into the season on fantasy teams, and so far, the season has shown it to be that way. So let's get a little more comfortable here in the show. Actually, Thursday night was kind of a wake-up call. Even playing the Texans defense, 8 sacks against Josh Allen. There was still not enough points left to go around. I see Reggie is here, so Reggie missed the opening. But anyway, Reg, how you doing this morning?
Very good, my friend. Glad to be here. I rushed to be here with you today, man, and I'm very glad. I see we got like 2 views going on. I see StreamYard, man. They're doing it. What is like this? Like a multi-view we got going on here?
Yeah, that's it. That's what they call it, a multi-access.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's very interesting tools that StreamYard is coming up with now.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So I was just talking about this Thursday night game.
With Josh and Houston. Yeah.
Even though I want to say I had James Cook, and Cook put up a respectable amount of points.
He did, and I'm playing against James Cook in my home league this week, so I did not want that to happen. And I turned off the game. So the thing about those Cook points is I turned off the game when in the very first quarter. I saw him run for at 40-something yard touchdown. So I turned on the game to see how James Cook is going to do. Gets handed the ball. He runs for a 40-something yard touchdown. Okay. And I think this was like first quarter, very early in the game. And I'm like, this guy's going to have 50 points. And now I'm done. And I'm so depressed. I'm sad. I turned it off. I was happy to see that the damage wasn't terrible considering he had that 40-yard touchdown run for me. But respectable points for James Cook's good back. So it's not really super surprising there.
Were you surprised with the Texans defense?
No, they've been doing this all year. They've been doing it all year. So it's like I would be surprised if this is maybe week 4. But at this point in the game, I mean, in the season, I mean, they did what they've been doing. This is what they've been doing. They've been terrible team to play, especially for quarterbacks. Like I think if you look at their quarterback, they rank top 1, 2, or 3 in being hardest matchup for QBs, and I think you saw that when they played Josh.
Yeah, the surprising thing to me is that not that the Texans defense was that good because it was the first time I had seen him. But
Right.
what I think shocked me most was even though the Texans won, there was really not that much separation when you talk about the players. It was the defense and James Cook. And James Cook did most of his damage in the first half.
I mean, if you're a James Cook fan, you're happy you got that touchdown. You get out of there, successful game for him. I got to go back and look and see what Josh did for me. But I know that it was a tough matchup, so I didn't go in expecting.
Well, he had 8 sacks, so that
it's a tough matchup, man. I mean, Houston's been doing that, you know, two quarterbacks for a while. So,
but you can't. How can you sit Josh out?
You can't. He got me 8 points. But here's the thing: when you go up against a guy, because when Houston's number one, they're number one against, so they're the number one most difficult matchup against a QB. So sometimes you just see what fantasy is. So if I look at this line as I'm looking at it on ESPN right now, and I see Josh Allen, 8 points, and I'm like, man, that's crazy. But when I see the line, Josh Allen, 8 points at Houston first, that doesn't seem as surprising. I mean, you played the best matchup in the league, and then guess what? They acted like the best matchup in the league when you played them. So it kind of, to me, it's not surprising because, like I said, we're here now in week 12, and Houston has been top against the quarterback for a while.
What did you think about David Mills? 3 straight wins.
I don't really think about him, man. I mean, I think Mills is doing what he's supposed to do, but I don't really think about him, to be honest. Because when you have QBs like that, these bridge QBs, and not unless Dave Mills some kind of, takes a leap somehow, and I'm not even sure where he takes the leap from. Because with these other guys, when you look at other guys that have kind of taken these leaps, whether it's the Sam Darnolds of the world, we usually have high draft picks who you thought may have had it. Then they come into the league, they underperform, and then maybe they catch on later. Whereas with David Mills, he wasn't really in the same pedigree as those other guys. But respectable, though. I think he's always been respectable. I think he's a high-quality backup, but I don't know if I want to start building my team around.
But if you're starting out the season with a Jaden Daniels or a who am I thinking of here? CJ Stroud, and both of them are out now. Did you turn to David Mills for those 3 weeks?
It would have had to been. I wouldn't be surprised if anybody did. Okay, so looking here now, just looking at his game log and looking at David Mills, because David Mills is available. I would be surprised if David Mills is not Mills is not available in all our leagues. I mean, because no, you're not looking for Davis Mills. Like, no, why would you do that? Like, I mean, I get it. So let me tell you right now, your fantasy hopes your fantasy hopes, man, are on their last thread. If you force to run Davis Mills out there, like if that's what that's what you're thinking in your head, unless you're in a 2 quarterback league. If you're in a 2 QB league, for sure, David Mills, absolutely. Davis Mills, for sure, because you're just going to try to get starting QBs. If you can't get another starting QB, fine, see what happens. But at the end of the day, though, could you imagine? Because I would imagine none of your teams are in this position, James. But could you imagine having your teams in a position where you got to run Davis Mills out there and depend on him to get you that win?
Well,
in this particular case, Davis Mills got more points than Josh Allen. But we all know you can't manage fantasy football like that. Nobody starts Davis Mills over Josh Allen. Like, let's get serious. Like, so it's one of those. I mean, it is what it is. Kind of situations happens.
Thinking of this week coming up, there are some really horrendous matches. There's a lot of the games that are double digits and more. some of your thoughts on some of well, let's start, for instance, with the Jets. We know that Fields, excuse me, Fields is being benched now in favor of Tyrod Taylor. We
Yeah,
see.
man. You might as well just kept him in Pittsburgh, man. Might as well just stay there. We could all stay together, man. It'd been all nice.
Well, we also see Russell Wilson is sitting on the bench now. So, did Pittsburgh make the right decision?
Would we mean going with Aaron Rodgers? You mean over like what you talking about the quarterback position or what, in what aspect? In what way?
I'm talking about I'm talking about QB. And everybody in the world knows how I feel about ayahuasca, but the records speak for themselves. So I mean, what were your thoughts on?
I like Fields for the long term if he had because he had looked decent and for a long term if he had came in and kind of he had sparks with the Steelers and we had a winning record with him. And I like the age, and I thought maybe that would be a decent fit, so we could at least start to see what we had. The only problem I have with Aaron Rodgers is I never thought that he was a worse quarterback than Justin Fields. First and foremost, never in life that I felt like he was a worse quarterback than Justin Fields. The issue I had was just age and the fact that we're gonna have to we're kind of kicking the can down the road, and we're gonna have to address this again in subsequent years. And it seemed like a painful process the first time, and we're seemingly going through it annually. So that was my issue with Rodgers, but do I think they made the right decision? Yes, I do. But from a quarterback, because if it depends on, are you looking to build? Are you looking to win? The Steelers are always looking to win. So, of course, they made the right decision.
Yeah. I still don't understand the decision to get ayahuasca, especially because I didn't feel I felt good about Will Howard.
I mean, if you feel good about Will Howard, is Rodgers injured in the sense that Will Howard might have a chance here? I think he's at least questionable.
No. I'm not looking for Will Howard for an immediate. Will Howard to me is watch. I'm not like Bill. I didn't like follow him all the way from high school, but I liked what he did at Ohio State, and I thought that if he could sit behind Aaron, this year, and I wasn't expecting Mason to be the backup, but I thought a year behind Aaron, and maybe another subsequent year, that Will Howard could be the long-term solution. But when you don't have the adequate supporting staff, I mean, right now Gainwell is outproducing our number one Warren, our number one back. It's as I've said all season, it's Metcalf or bust. We're and I don't know why I'm preaching to you because you're not a big Arthur Smith fan anyway.
No, but, and also these problems have been Steeler problems. Like for a while, like our offense has been a problem for a minute. Like this is the biggest issues I had with our moves when I was critical of the moves that the Steelers made this past year. The biggest criticism I had was the fact that it felt like we were just kind of spinning the wheel, so to speak, like on the hamster wheel of mediocrity. Like we're not exactly getting better because you can get defense, you can stay good on defense, but if you look around to what's winning games, is definitely teams that have good defense. Kansas City had a great defense. They won a chip Philly. We know what Philly's defense did to Patrick Mahomes in Super Bowl. It matters. But what also matters is that you have an A.J. Brown, a Devontae Smith, and a Jalen Hurts who can really make it happen for you. That really matters. And Saquon Barkley as well. What matters is that you got a Patrick Mahomes to go with the defense that can really make it happen for you. You're going to need a guy. And I felt like Pittsburgh, no matter how much we preach the Steeler way, which is winning, competitive, competent organizations, why it's one of my favorite teams, you're not offensively equipped to really compete in your heart of hearts. And I think that everybody knows that. Like, if you got to run into competition with your Lamar Jacksons of the world, and you got Mason Rudolph or Will Howard or Aaron Rodgers, I like better the most out of all those. I like Aaron Rodgers the most against that matchup. If I got to go Aaron Rodgers versus Lamar Jackson, I like that. But then things got to be conditioned for Aaron. Aaron needs more than one receiver than like, and I feel like a lot of people would struggle with that. And the last couple of teams that Rodgers has been on, whether it's the Jets or this team, it's kind of like one guy out there that he can really throw to, and then a group of other guys. I said as well last year that I was mad that we did not address the receiver situation. We only addressed it with Metcalf. I told you guys on the other show that was a problem. We needed more, because when you look around the league, these teams are airing it out, and whereas it seems like the Steelers scoring just seems like it's painful. It's hard to watch.
Some good games this week, and once again, you spoke about defense. Kansas City against the Broncos. Broncos come back, pulled it out there in
divisional as well.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a tough game for Pat. If I got Patrick in one of my leagues, it's a tough start for Patrick. And is that this week or next week?
No, that was last week.
That was last week. I was gonna say they're off this week. I want to say the Broncos are off, I think, this week.
Yeah, the Broncos got to bye this week.
Yeah, I think that's always a tough matchup, though. Like, I mean, the Broncos, when you look at the last couple of years since that Broncos defense has been what it is, Patrick has struggled against them, and that's a good defense. So I think a lot of teams have struggled against them.
Chiefs 5-5.
Hard to count them out, man. But they are doing that thing that they do, where they kind of middle along, and then they kind of usually catch on end of the year and start winning games, stacking up wins. So we'll see if they can stack up a few and get to double-digit wins. It's kind of like we take it for granted at this point, but we'll see what happens if they end up with single-digit wins, or if they end up around or losing, because you can't be 500, I guess, unless they tie a game. That's going to be concerning and probably just shocking, but I'm still giving them the benefit of the doubt of coming out a winning team into all this if 15 stays healthy.
Okay. Chargers, 7 and 5. Wait a minute, 7 and
around 7-3 or somewhere around there.
7-3. They're two games ahead of the Patriots in the win column.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs. I'm sorry.
Okay. They are, yeah, and you know what? The Chargers second in that division. They're 7-4 actually. Right. To the Broncos are 9-2.
Okay, so the Chiefs are a game behind you because they're 5.
Chiefs, because there's a 5-5, and the Chargers have played one more game. So the Chiefs have played 10 games. Looks like the Chargers have played 11.
Yeah, but and both of them have beat the Chiefs.
The Broncos and the Chargers, really?
Yeah,
okay.
They both beat the Chiefs.
That is not good, right? I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, the Chiefs got a long way to go. Steelers still holding on to the top of the division there. So still a lot of football to be played here.
Sam Darnold and the Seahawks. Another close game this week. But Smith-Njigba, do you think the acquisition of Shaheed will help them in their run? They were another team that it was, kind of Njigba bust.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that adding a player like Shaheed, just as I was talking about with the Steelers before with Metcalf, I don't think when you add more players who can stretch the field, I don't ever think that's bad, especially when you got a player already. If we got a player already, and now somebody's going to be open. As you see with like Pickens and CD Lamb, some people are like, "How is that going to work?" Well, somebody's going to be running free out there. It helps to have multiple guys, James. If you got one guy, then they can just double that guy, triple that guy, and then we're about these other guys having to make a play. Okay. But I like Shaheed. He's making plays for New Orleans out there. He was in a similar situation where he had Olave out there he played with, so it's not like he is used to just being the top guy and coming over to a team. So I think that he's a good addition for the Seahawks. And I don't think anything like JSN is still JSN. He didn't become a Seahawk, and then I thought any less of JSN. JSN is still that dude.
And Kenny Walker is finally getting some carries inside the 20, which we used to be almost predominantly Charbonnet.
Yeah, to my dismay, because I have Charbonnet, by the way. So I do not like that. I like to see Charbonnet getting those attempts. But what do? Kenny is on the team.
Penix running out there for the Vikings.
Who running out there for the Vikings?
Excuse me, not Penix, McCartney. I'm sorry.
Okay, I was say, man, Penix ain't running out there for nobody. You know what I mean? Unfortunately. They got to run him out there. Like, what do you? I mean, you're the Vikings. You're stuck. You're the Vikings, and I told you this beginning of the season are in the same situation that my Falcons were in, whereas we were attached to two young quarterbacks, and we were going to go as these young quarterbacks go. Our teams. That's kind of what the teams are going to be. McCarthy right now is playing abysmal. He's not playing great, but he's also missed a full season. He hasn't. I don't think started this full season, so he's still a pup, man. He's still. These are the pains you got to go through. I mean, it doesn't look great, but it's very young, so we'll see. I wasn't high on McCarthy coming in, so I didn't see enough of him at Michigan with the way that Harbaugh played with that team. I didn't see enough of him like being the guy that was like carrying it, so to speak. I felt like he was just kind of managing it, but he didn't get a lot of chances to carry it. So I kind of get that too. Like, you got to get your opportunities. Not like he can just go out there and call plays for himself. But I didn't see enough to warrant me saying he was going to be good at the next level. So the jury's still out, and he hasn't done anything to change that. The jury's looks like it's going to be out for a while for him.
Shadua finally got his chance, but this week he took reps with the first team, and he's going to be the starter. Really abysmal last week, but that's so.
I mean, he came in. It's not really fair. You come in and you're not really. I mean, it's not fair when you have to come in and lead a team. You didn't take no reps with the first team, and you're going against a good Baltimore divisional matchup. Now, I will tell you this: this is where the Shador evaluation really can start. You're going against the winner. This is a winnable game. You're going against Las Vegas. They're not. This isn't the Broncos or Minnesota or somebody. You know what I mean on defense. So you have opportunities to at least look decent. You take out all the reps. There won't be really a lot of excuses for Shador in this game. So he should be able to go out and hopefully have a good performance and make some of these teams pay that passed on them. You got to make them pay, or you're going to start to substantiate it one way or the other. But I'm just glad to see that we're actually getting this over with, because sometimes when people don't play, they get held up into a mystique. You know what I mean? Like there are no mistakes there. If Shador was out there, he'd have 400 yards. Like, they start to really say stuff that has never been substantiated. So now we'll get a chance to see him play to see if it actually does get substantiated. But at the same time, you could do that one way or the other. Like, some people might say, "Oh, the guy sucks. He can't complete a pass because he's not out there either." So we'll see. I'm just glad that he gets a chance to prove himself one way or the other.
I know this is really painful for you, but Kirk Cousins, he's now out there.
Yeah.
Sound like me with Aaron Rodgers, but anyway, your thoughts here. Does he make Kyle Pitts more valuable? Are you ready to scrap all Drake London and the rest of
No,
the
it's Drake. It's
team?
the Drake and Bijan show. The same show it always was with the Falcons. So tell me this, because I get that you Kyle Pitts people that are holding on out there. I'm not sure what you're looking for. The Falcons. When I look at my team, the Falcons, and this is unfortunate because when I look at both my teams, the Falcons and the Steelers, they face two very similar situations, and I don't even think the Steelers. To tell you how terrible the Steelers have been, they might not even get to two people. There are only two startable guys on the Falcons, and that's Bijan and Drake London to me. And that's the only two startable guys on the Falcons before Kirk Cousins. And there are only two guys starting on the Falcons after Kirk Cousins. Now, a lot of people, if you remember, know that Mooney was a viable option when Kirk was first out here. Mooney was doing some things. So maybe you pick up Mooney. I think he's available on a lot of waivers. But I'm not trusting anybody besides Drake, London, and Bijan on that team. And just like I can't really, I'm gonna trust Metcalf. I'm gonna start Metcalf on the Steelers. I got to go to Boswell to get to my second guy on the Steelers. I'm gonna start Metcalf and Boswell on the Steelers because I always find a way to get Chris Boswell Steelers into my lineup. Maybe I get the Steelers defense in there. But these are teams where you don't have a lot of startable options at your fantasy, and you kind of sometimes see that play out in reality, in records and stuff like that.
Another surprise. Jacksonville.
Yeah, man, they're back. They're back to that Saxonville. I'm not sure if they're up in the sacks, but I know that their defense is doing very well for them this year.
Yeah, they just beat the Chargers.
Mm-hmm. And I'm very happy about that too because I was playing Justin Herbert in fantasy that week, and I needed that game so bad. I needed that to happen. What happened? I only won, I think, about like 10 points or so. So if Herbert had even had a decent game, I would have lost.
Yeah, they're on a bye this week. So
is the Jacksonville's on a bye or the Chargers?
The Chargers are on a bye.
Okay. Okay.
Carolina. What?
Crazy game, and I was at that game. That game.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
I was in the stands watching my team lose to Carolina for the second time this year. Morris, man, he might be on that hot seat. I mean, you can't be losing to Carolina twice in a year. Well, first time they blew you out. Second time you kind of lose a barn burner. And the thing is we had opportunities to win that game, and it's frustrating only because when you look at how close the game comes down to, you understand that things like a muff punt really can cost you. And these are kind of things that happened here in this game. Bryce had over 400 yards, which is crazy. Bryce had like almost 450 yards in this game.
448.
Come on, man. Stuff like that. That is what I can't have. You know what I mean? I can't have that. You can't have a guy who I love in Bryce, by the way, because I was very happy for Bryce. Roll Tide. So I'm happy for Bryce's individual accomplishments. But you can't have a guy that has not looked anything like that. Well, or maybe shown some glimpses like that. And the last time they showed a glimpse like that, it was against you again. You know what I mean? But you can't have a guy that looks like Joe Montana against you, bro. You know what I mean? But looks like a regular guy against everybody else. So against everybody else, he's like a regular dude. He plays you. All of a sudden, he's putting 400 yards up. You know what I mean? So he's like Matt Stafford right now, when he plays against you. So that's a problem, man, especially when you were hired for your defensive acumen. I think that's the issue.
Drake May and the Patriots.
I like Drake May, man. I picked up Drake May. Somebody had dropped Drake May in my league, man. I picked him up. So now my quarterbacks in my league are amazing. I have Drake May and Matt Stafford. I have two great QBs I've been rolling out there in my home league. And I rolled Drake May out there last week. Got a little bit nervous because his performance was underwhelming compared to what it has been in his previous weeks, but he actually ended up doing better than Stafford. So I was happy with that decision. Drake May looking good, man. I'm gonna keep rolling him out there depending on matchup. But I think he has a bye coming. You gotta watch out for those bye situations. They can be tricky because late season buys can hurt you. They're great for you throughout the season, but if that quarterback's been carrying you, if you don't have a bye yourself in the playoffs, that person might be missing right when you need them.
Jackson Dart still out in concussion protocol.
Okay, so is he missing this week?
Yes, he is.
Oh man, that's not good. It's not good for the New York fan base. Who are they rolling out there? If they're not rolling out there, if they're not rolling Russell Wilson out there. Who are they rolling out there?
Come on, you know his name. Come on. He's a second string quarterback.
Let's think here.
Winston.
James. Oh, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Winston's a very fantasy valuable guy. You know what I mean? Like if I got Wan'Dale Robinson, stuff like that, if I got the receivers on the Giants, I'm all right with that. I'm all right with that. Because I'm thinking if you got the receivers for the Giants, man, you are Winston likes to air it out. He likes to throw the ball a lot. So I would be happy. But that is literally it. Well, I'm off right after that because I mean, do I really want to be depending on Jameis Winston for my fantasy hopes this week? I don't. But at the same time, it's not like all is lost with him either. You know what I mean? If you got players on the team, you're not exactly. I mean, you got a shot because he's usually airing it out.
Let's talk about this week's matchup with the Steelers, the Chicago Bears.
Is that at Steelers?
Nope, we're playing in Chicago.
Okay.
I think the Steelers are 3.5 point underdog, I think.
3.5 point underdogs?
Yeah. The usual home field advantage, plus a half. But your thoughts here, after watching, the Commanders come back last week. The Bears come back and get a really critical win for their situation. I mean, now it's kind of, I believe the Bears in second place because the Vikings just lost. The Vikings are.
Let's go check that out here. All right, so the Bears are in first place.
Are they in first place?
In the NFC North. When's the last time as a Bears fan you heard that? The Vikings are actually fourth, but the Lions are actually in third place in the NFC North. Isn't that crazy? Who would have thought that this late this season? With the Lions, and also another thing you should do is take all this for a little bit of grain of salt because they're all separated by like a game. There's only one game difference between all these guys. So This thing can change totally in one weekend to the next if it keeps this close. But it's still good to see, though, if you're a Bears fan. It's good to see.
So what are you looking forward in this matchup against Ayahuasca against Caleb Williams?
If is Aaron playing? Like I don't even is he going because I see him as questionable here.
Yeah,
to see what he's trending towards.
I think he's trending towards playing.
Okay.
He
trying to look up a few guys here.
He is the seasoned veteran. After all, I mean, if somebody's going to get the call, if he says he wants to play, I'm sure that unless something is broken or actually hurt, I'm pretty sure he's going to at least start the game.
Okay, so it says he will be. They got him, so he's still questionable. He's had limited practices, and he's still in questionable status right now. You got to really watch that. that.
I didn't think he'd last this long. I thought,
which is very funny because like that's just disrespectful. Because that's, I mean,
he's 41 years old.
How's
that disrespectful? And he's 41 years old. He's playing in the AFC North, and we're playing against the NFC North. All of these teams have good defenses, at least most of them. I'm not counting, Cleveland or Cincinnati. But if you talk about the Ravens,
Cleveland and Cincinnati, Cleveland got one of the best. I think Cleveland's defense is number one in the league.
and now, yeah. But what I'm saying, is that they're kind of like us. It's either the defense, because you're not going to put up that many points, but what I'm saying is that I think that the defenses that and the schedule are very tough. The AFC North and the NFC North, those,
It's tough schedules, and the Steelers are. I expect our defense at least, to keep us in games. I don't mind running Aaron out there against these teams, but it's not like I thought he was going to. I mean, he's a veteran. He's used to playing, in the North. He came from Green Bay. He came from the Jets, so he's used to playing in the North. It seems like he's kind of always played North AFC or NFC up north somewhere. So it seems like he's used to these conditions. I never thought that he was not going to make it throughout the season. What the result would be of that is something totally different. I also never thought that we were going to be gangbusters either. You know what I mean? It's not like, it's both things.
Jordan Love, a lot of, some criticism, but, they are in second place. Mostly due to the Packers defense. Of course, they've had a couple big losses in personnel.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on the Packers?
Kind of going as Jordan Love goes, right? Like, Packers are a good football team, so I don't think there's any cause for concern here right now. Maybe. So, I mean, a lot of times as the season progresses, things kind of come back down to earth. People are really gangbusters on the Packers coming in, and things kind of come back down to earth. But that being said, the Bears are 7-3. The Packers are 6-3-1. So I think that your team is always great. You're always in a great position, as my Steelers tend to be in a lot. When the league worries about you with a winning record. I love that. I would love to be in that situation where you have a winning record and teams worry about what is going on with that team. Because when you suck, nobody asks this question. They're happy that you have a winning record. They're happy to look at the difference between conversation between the Panthers and the Packers, right? If the Panthers were 5-4, 6-5, whatever, you're over the moon for that, right? If the Packers are 6-3-1, you're like, I mean, are they all right there? Are they going to be okay? I mean, what's going on in the water there? It just shows you how great it is to be a team that has expectations. And the Packers are one of those teams right now. And they're not way behind the Bears. So I don't think it's time to panic there yet. But things have kind of come back down to earth for them from how things started.
Speaking of how things started and how they are now, the Commanders, you got Scary Terry's out. Of course, now you're practically down to Rodriguez because Merritt hasn't really set things on fire like you thought that he would.
Yeah, a lot of people thought that he would.
Yeah, and like I said, you're also your quarterback. Is now, and it really shows, I think, the difference between a confident team, because even when Scary Terry was out and some of the others, when you had Jaden back there, you did have a certain amount of confidence.
Yeah, right. You got a shot.
Yeah,
you got a
so
shot.
Now you're going into Miami as an underdog.
Yeah. I mean, as you probably should be. I mean, they have everybody starting in Miami, right? Waddle there is Tua starting. If everybody started there in Miami, and I'm not saying that Washington can't. This is any given Sunday. These guys are all professionals. I'm not saying Washington can't go in there and win a game. They definitely can. But you don't deserve to be. I mean, you deserve to be the underdogs going against a team where you're going into their place, play them, and they're healthy, and your main guy is out. This is probably where it should be. And I'm not running a lot of Washington guys out there. I'm glad I don't have a lot of Washington. Washington, my share of Washington that I had was Jaden Daniels. And when Jaden Daniels went down, fortunately, I didn't stack my team. I didn't have like Jaden Daniels, Scary Terry. I didn't have that stack. I would have wanted that stack, and I definitely tried to have it. But as fate have it, I wasn't able to get it. Guy in front of me kept sniping those wide receivers from the team. But I'm happy for him now. You know what I mean? So I just beat last week. I just beat him last week in fantasy. So I'm very excited that he was sniping those guys because I ended up with other guys and those guys contributed. So
let's see who haven't we talked about this week? Joe Burrow is
coming back this week.
So far, it sounds like he's coming back. Of course, I think he's listed as questionable too, but he's been practicing.
See where they got Burrow at. Who's playing that Thanksgiving game? Because they might bring him back Thanksgiving. Let's see here. Let's look at this. Will not play Sunday. Okay, he's not playing this Sunday. Okay, so let's see here. So he's already not for sure. So they say, okay, this is what I just alluded to this though. Burrow will likely make his return for the Bengals Thanksgiving game. So that's what I alluded to. Whenever teams have a player that plays within a 4 or 5 day span coming off an injury, a lot of times, unless it's super like they really maybe hate the guy they have playing, they feel like they absolutely have to run the guy out there, they run him out there. But if you can, you're going to start him in the latter of that close game playing stretch. You know what I mean? You're going to start him Sunday and then play him a game on Thursday.
Right. So you'll start him on Thursday, but he's not playing Sunday.
Correct. So that's what it looks like. And they haven't even got a guarantee on the start for Thursday, but looks like that's what they project will happen from what people are saying.
Right.
Which is interesting. That means Flacco's got one more viable kind of week here. And I don't even know if Flacco's healthy. Let's look and see if Flacco's healthy. Yeah, he's healthy and out there. Okay. Very valuable guy, man. Flacco. Viable fantasy QB.
Okay. Let's see who would be. Yeah.
I don't know who else we got on the bye this week. If we got just besides the Broncos on the bye this week.
The Chargers, I think, are on the bye. Right?
Okay, you said that earlier. So that's Chargers, Broncos. Those are fantasy viable teams. I'm missing Sutton this week off of my Bronco team. He's been okay for me. Not setting the world on fire, but he's been okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Did we talk about the 49ers?
We have not. I think Purdy is out there for them. Was Purdy out there last week? Look and see.
No, Purdy wasn't out there last week.
Let's see. Let's get Brock back. No, he was. He was there.
Was he out there last week? I thought
he actually played pretty decent last week. So last week he had 3 touchdowns. Last week he had 22. In our ESPN league, he had almost 23 points. So he did better. He had a pretty good week. It's a solid week. So Purdy's been back out there. Also, another quarterback that you can just bring back. Like when I look up, so Purdy. Here's the problem with Purdy. Purdy's only played 3 games this entire season. Okay. But Purdy, in those 3 games, scored over 20 in all 3. He's got over 20 in all 3 games. So I feel like it's kind of hard not to run him out there. But he does have terrible defenses the next few weeks. So he's got Carolina, which is 23rd. Hardest match. The hardest matchup, I would say probably the 9th hardest matchup if you want to look at it that way. And you got Cleveland, which is like the 2nd, 3rd hardest matchup right after that. So he doesn't have great matchups. But his Arizona matchup was the 7th worst matchup, and he still managed to put up 23 points. Man, it's just his matchups would have been terrible. Coming in, he would have had Houston. He would have had a game against the Giants. Then he would have had the Rams, Arizona, Carolina, Cleveland, all terrible matchups for quarterbacks. But that being said, he still managed the 20 points last week, and he is out there in my home league anyway. It looks like I would grab him if I had to. Fortunately, I don't, but I would if I had to.
Well, speaking of woulda, shoulda, coulda, Jacoby Brissett, the world's tallest midget, as Mr. Scott likes to call him, is gone for the season. I'm pretty
Is
sure.
he? They got him healthy and starting out there.
Do
They
they have
got Brissett starting today or starting tomorrow.
Is
against Jacksonville.
Okay, I know he wasn't
Hold on,
back
let me
yet.
see. Let's see here. They got him listed as healthy.
They didn't have him Wednesday, so he is okay. So now
now he's playing the Jags. So
yeah,
do with that what you will. But Jacoby,
he's playing the Jags.
Has played lights out. Has played lights out. Like he's played lights out, man. Like it's hard. The games for Jacoby, 1, 2. Let's say the last 5 games. Game starts. This is in my home league though. So let me go and let me get out of here. And I'm actually gonna give it to you in the ESPN league because that's gonna be a little bit more. My home league has wonky scoring for the quarterback. So he could be getting just a better situation from a scoring standpoint there. But let's look at how he will look here. Now in the ESPN league, he'd be 28th position rank. Let's go to his game log here there. All right. So he would have had 21.8 points the last game. He would have had 19.4 the game before, 24.8 the game before, 19.76 the game before, 20.7 the game before. That's all what we call consistency at the quarterback position. So if you are Jacoby Brissett, it's not like if you switch the name Jacoby Brissett for like one of these other guys, then we're not even talking, right? But the fact that it's Jacoby Brissett, he's named Jacoby Brissett is the problem because you're like, do I start Jacoby Brissett? But from a statistical standpoint, yes, you do. Yeah, you go start him.
But on the same, vein, am I going to start Marvin Harrison Jr.? Probably not.
I mean, I think it's hard to sit him. Like, how do you sit Marvin Harrison Jr.? Because the problem with players like Marvin Harrison Jr. and this is kind of the problem that I had with Xavier Worthy, except that there was 2 totally different situations. So Xavier Worthy his draft position was pushed up because of Rashee Rice's legal situation in the beginning of the year. So pushed up Xavier Worthy's draft position. I, as an idiot, did not take this into account and drafted Xavier Worthy a little bit early. He would not have been going at that draft position though if Rashee Rice's situation wasn't what it was, and that's something I did not take into account. But this is not the same situation with Marvin Harrison Jr., who was also being drafted very early because he was the number 1 receiver and is still perceived to be. He's position ranked 33 right now. When you look at his game log, let's go look and see here. No, you start him 14 in the last game, 22.6 in the game before that, 7.8 stinker. 5.2 stinker, 13.8 before that. Okay. 18.6 before that. Okay. Now you start him. Marvin Harrison, you run him out there. Marvin Harrison and Trey McBride are my must run outs for Arizona. I'm running them out there.
You have to run Trey. I'm
running both of them out there all the time because, and I feel like for one, Marvin Harrison is kind of like my Cortland Sutton, even though he's doing a little, I think he's doing better. I got to go back and look at Sutton's numbers and see. Guys that you running out there because of the way you drafted them. And unless they have a fall off, like Worthy has had a fall off that's become a benchable fall off, James, unless you have a benchable fall off with these guys that you draft early, you kind of end up locked into them. You know what I mean? Into playing them.
Okay, let's see. Let's go with some quick stardom sit-ems before I get your lineup. Let's see. Baker Mayfield against the Rams. Stardom sit-em.
Gotta start them. I love Baker, man. Like, and let me go ahead and back my stardoms up with some actual statistics here to make sure I'm just not talking out of my behind. But I do like Baker because Baker's a gamer, man. Like, I like having quarterbacks on my fantasy team. Position rank 11 in ESPN leagues. I like having him on my teams. 16.8 in the last game against Buffalo, 22.9 against New England. Stinker before that, 4 against New Orleans. Man, that's kind of shocking, right? But the thing is if you got to run Baker out there, I'm not sad about that. I would have other guys that I would probably hope are more studs at the position, but I'm not mad at running Baker out there. So I'm starting him if I got him.
Okay. We've seen the attrition of the Giants. Tracy Taylor at the Lions. Tyrone Tracy.
Tyrone Tracy. Tyrone Tracy. Yeah, I would say so, because if you have to put him in a flex spot, I'm assuming maybe if you got guys on buys and stuff like that, and you got to put him in a flex spot, he's not available in our league. Bill snatched him up in our league. Let's look at our game log here and see what we're looking at. Not setting the world on fire, but it did last game. Got almost 18 points last game. So it is there. And I had Tyrone Tracy last year, and he was viable for me last year, but had that fall off, of course, because of Scatterboo this year. And it'd be interesting to see if he can kind of recapture that.
Yeah, and the Lions are coming off that tough win against the loss against the Eagles. What, 16-6? No, 16-9. I'm sorry. Demetrius made sure I got those other 3 points in there.
Yeah, they count, man. They count.
Yeah. Speaking of, you were talking about Worthy. What about starting Worthy against the Colts?
I can't give advice to the people that I would not be taking myself. I'm looking at bench Worthy whenever I can. Like, whenever I can start. As a matter of fact, I'm starting Alec Pierce over Worthy. Right now, the only thing that I'm thinking about in my home league changing is starting, because I have Tez Johnson for the Bucks, and I hear Chris Godwin will be back this week. So that's not really good for me, starting Tez Johnson with Godwin back there. I'm thinking about putting Worthy back in the game as a result of that, because right now I have Worthy on the bench, and I'm starting Tez Johnson. But I might have to put Worthy back in the game. Let me see where they're at. Let me go look at Worthy. No, man. I mean, it's hard, but he is going against Indianapolis next week at the 10th. And the thing is about Worthy, too, I think Worthy is questionable. Let's see if he's doing. Yeah, he's still questionable.
He's questionable, but there's a chance that he does play against the Colts.
If he plays, I mean, I'm in a spot here because I would have to either start. I would naturally want to start him over Tez Johnson. Is a natural thing to do, especially with Tez Johnson now. With Chris Godwin coming back, he could be relegated to like the 4th receiver. You know what I mean? So I don't like that. But at the same time, I would need to monitor Xavier Worthy's injury situation here and see. Maybe I put him in for Johnson if Chris Godwin's going to play for sure. So I don't know. But I don't feel good about starting Worthy. So I think that the matchup on its own, guys, if you got to run him out there, but for the matchup, yeah, because the matchup's a good matchup for him. It's a good matchup for receivers in general. But it's also a good matchup for Rashee Rice. And there's your problem. It's a good matchup for the other guys.
Yeah, well, okay. What about Jake Ferguson against the Eagles?
You got to run Ferguson out there, right? Let me see what Ferguson's doing. I like at memory, Ferguson seems like a pretty good player. I don't know if I am benching Ferguson anywhere. I don't think I'm benching him anywhere, man. Let me see just to make sure. But I don't think he set the world. Well, did he? Did he score on their last game? I think the last game CD was going off there. Dak definitely had a few touchdowns in their last game. Let's see, Jake Ferguson. Okay, his position rank is 2, bro. Yes, I mean position rank is 2. He had 11.6 points last game. Yes, you start Jake Ferguson Jake Ferguson is like a stud player, bro. You start him every single game. There's no thought about starting Jake Ferguson at this point in the season.
Okay. Bryce Young at the 49ers.
This is questionable here. Here's where it becomes questionable, Bryce. Do you have to start Bryce Young? Are you a Carolina fan? Like, why would Bryce Young be on your team from a fantasy standpoint? Now from a reality standpoint, like I told you, Roll Tide, I want Bryce on all my teams because I'm just a homer. And I just like all my Alabama fans or Alabama quarterbacks. But he averages about 13 points per game on his fan. And that's when you add in the major ones. He has against Atlanta. Well, no, against the one Atlanta game, I guess that was a rushing game because even that game, he only had 11.6 points. And they beat us down there. That was week 3. And his best game is by far the one he just had, which is 31.8. I don't know. my guy. My brother Bryce, the consistency's not here. So I wouldn't. Will be the same answer every week because fantasy sometimes it's a week-to-week situation. You'll have a Joe Flacco come out there and put up 50 points. It can happen. But that doesn't mean you're running Joe Flacco out there over Josh Allen. You know what I mean? Just because a week is so he could do better. This is the kind of situation where you're looking at the average, the yearly average for Bryce, and I don't see running him out there. It'd be unfortunately for my brother.
Zach Charbonnet against the Titans.
I would love to run Charbonnet out there, man, but I don't think I am because for Charbonnet, for me, he's in my flex spot, and I ran Willie Marks out there instead. When I'm looking at my team, I left Charbonnet on the bench, but is a begrudgingly on the bench, though. You know what I mean? I didn't leave him on the bench like wanting to leave him on. It's a begrudgingly leaving him on the bench because here's my problem. In my flex bar, I would have to start Charbonnet over. Well, Willie Marks, of course, now, I mean, I might well start him because Willie Marks got me 7.4 points. So now maybe, but Marks was getting the number one reps for Houston. So it's hard for me to start a number one guy. And he was going against a Buffalo defense that's not great against the run. So they were both. So Marks is going against the Buffalo, the second best matchup. So I started Marks over Charbonnet there. Okay. We're not starting Charbonnet over Jahmyr Gibbs. That's my other running back in that league. It's not happening. Okay. In my flex, I'm not starting Charbonnet over DeAndre Swift because Swift has been a steady floor guy for me. You know what I mean? And throughout the season. So I'm not starting him over Swift, even though Swift has a much worse matchup against my Steelers. But I'm not starting him over Swift. So Charbonnet thus had landed on my bench. You know what I mean? But I didn't want to leave him there. And if I had to start Charbonnet this week, I would have started him happily.
Zay Flowers against the Jets.
Start him. Is Lamar's playing, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm not sitting Zay. I'm always sitting Zay if I have to sit Zay.
Okay. AJ Brown against the Cowboys.
Same. I mean, when you're looking at these guys that you're naming, you probably drafted them so high that you can't not sit them. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, you probably drafted them high. And how can you sit them? You know, unless you have to. And me and Chris talked about this, and it was such a true statement when Chris brought it up on the last show that he was on, when he said that you can't fall in love with a name, and sometimes you got to sit a guy because that's what happened. I sat Worthy for like Alex Pierce or somebody else, and it was funny because Worthy was the guy that when he made this reference, he was making this reference about, and he was saying, hey, you know, you can't just get a name and keep running a name out there, and you know he's killing you. So when that happens, you got to sit him. But I'm not there with Zay, though. Yeah.
Jameis Williams against the Giants.
Same. It depends on who you got. Like, I have Williams, and I am running him out there in one league. Let me see here. I'm running him out there. It looks like I'm trying to see who I would sit him for. I mean, I could sit him, no, because I got ET in there. No, flex. I mean, I could sit him. Let's see my flex. My flex, I got Mike Wilson here. In reality, if I wanted to switch this lineup around here that I'm looking at currently, I could switch Charbonnet into my flex position for Mike Wilson, but Mike Wilson is starting as of now. And I'm keeping Jameson Williams out there. Because basically, if I wanted to, I could have moved Jameson out of the wide receiver position and put Mike Wilson there. But I'm going to keep him. That's in Bill's league, the last-minute league there. And I'm doing pretty good in that league, man. I think I'm like 8-3 in that league, something like that.
Yeah, James,
no, I'm 9-2. 9-2 in that league. Wow.
Yeah, Jameis is my guy. I've
hard to sit him, right?
Yeah. You know, even if and you know he's the number 3 option, but it's still hard to
because it's a home run option. It's a number 3 option. That's a home run option, man. Like he can knock that thing out the park. He can win you your week.
Yeah. And you spoke about Michael Wilson with a really good matchup against the Jags.
Yeah, he's coming on, man, and he's popular. People are definitely rolling him out there. That was kind of like my tiebreaker, kind of seeing what what other people are doing here. The conventional wisdom is to run him out there, so I'm definitely doing so.
Chris Olave against your Falcons.
You don't sit Chris Olave, man. Let me go look at where he's at. You just don't. I don't think you sit him. Olave is just too talented. He's too talented receiver, and you probably have the same situation. So position rank 12. Let's look at his game log here for Chris. Yeah, he double-digit game every game.
His quarterback is Tyler Sloth.
He had the last time they played 21 points. He's the position ranked 12th. There's only 11 guys ranked better than him at wide receiver right now, currently. You're not in a position if you're in a position to sit a guy like Olave, your team is stacked. If you could leave this guy on the bench. Putting my Saints hater to the side. You know what
I mean? Let's put your Pitts hate aside. What about Kyle Pitts against the Saints?
I mean, Pitts is like mid. He's just mid. Like let me pull up my brother here. Make sure I'm not just grabbing him. He just comes across as like a guy that I never want to start, bro.
Last week he caught 9 passes.
I like that. I'm definitely a fan of that. Position rank for Pitts is 18. So a little bit worse than the average.
Out there this week now, so
what's crazy is he must not have caught those passes because last week he had 3 points last week. So but maybe he had 9 attempts. I'm not sure if he had exactly. I feel like you can have 9 catches in a half in a PPR league and have more than 3.4 points. It looks to me like he had no wait. Then that's that. No, he only had 3 targets, brother. He had 3 targets and 2 receptions. The last time he had 9 targets was was against Miami, week 8. I wonder what it looks like. Week 8. So last time he had 9 targets. He's only had more than 9 targets twice in this entire season. And as a result, there, ladies and gentlemen, once again for another year, we cannot trust Kyle Pitts. Ladies and gentlemen, he's ranked number 18 position-wise. Unless your guy is missing, you always have the upside, as we as Falcons fans are still waiting to see. So it's always there.
Aren't you guys without Drake London this week?
Maybe. I mean, here's the problem. Here's a problem that I told you here with my beloved Steelers. I'm going to run 2 players out on these teams. With the Steelers, it's going to be Chris Boswell. It's going to be DK Metcalf. If you want to throw a sprinkle in a Warren and a Gainwell here and there, you knock yourself out. On the Falcons, I'm going to run out Drake London. I'm going to run out Bijan Robinson. Now, here's the problem with this, James. Nothing else matters on these teams. Like, I don't care what changes. I don't care who's in. I don't care who's out. I don't care if George Hollis comes back, starts coaching these teams up. I don't care what happens to these teams. These are the guys that I trust in fantasy. And unfortunately, when you're this putrid, as my beloved teams are on offense at times, especially looking like it right now, because they're both teams, their defenses look better than their offenses. I can't trust these guys no matter what the circumstance is. Like, no matter what the circumstance is on these teams, no matter who's in, who's out, none of these guys get elevated. And the Kyle Pitts does become a playable guy in this fact that if you have guys on buys and stuff like that,
All right, well, let's get our lineups in here and see what we look like this week.
I am ready. So this one, I'm going to do my this is my Sports Crib League right here. So this has Jared Goff, Derrick Henry, Bijan Robinson, Zay Flowers, the aforementioned, Ted McMillan, Trey McBride, Alec Pierce. I'm running a Lions defense out there this week, especially since Dart is missing. Jameson always give you a shot. And Tyler and Loop. Loop I have as my kicker for this team. That's the only team you wanted, right? Yo, you know what I'm looking here. So let's go over this real quick. So because this may never happen again. In all 3 leagues here that I'm playing with you, James, we have this. I'm 7-4 in the Sports Crib League. My Extraordinary Gentleman League, which has Josh Allen, Derrick Henry, Bijan Robinson, CeeDee Lamb, Puka Nacua, George Kittle, Ibuka. I'm starting the Jags defense this week, it looks like. And my guy, Chris Boswell, I am 8-3 in that league. Okay, that's the Extraordinary Gentleman League. And in the Last Minute League, which is Bill's league, I am 9-2 in that league. And I have Mahomes, Genty, Taylor, Travis Etienne. We can start 3 to 4 running backs and wide receivers in this league. Jackson Smith and Jigba, Williams, Travis Kelce, Mike Wilson, the Vikings defense, and Cam Little is who I'm starting right now at the kicker position. And I've been doing pretty good in all those, man. I got winning records. In all my home leagues, I'm carrying winning records right now, so I don't want to run jinx. If I can get one more win in my home league this week, then I'll be over what I need to kind of end with a winning record there. So I'm hoping for a miracle.
Okay, so that was your extraordinary no, which one is this?
The last one I ended, the one with Mahomes, was last minute league. That's Bill's league, the one I just ended with just now.
Yeah, that your defense can get you 200 points. I don't know how Bill.
That's like a defensive premium league. You know what that league? I got to look at that league some more from the individual scoring, because the scoring in that league is crazy. It's crazy. Like the points we're ending up in that league was like 300 or 400 points. I won last week for like a score of 300 something.
I had 387. I had almost 400 points last week.
Yeah, that league scoring is crazy, right? I need to. But as we've talked about a ton of times on this show, look at your league scoring, man. Like look at your league scoring.
See now here's a league where, okay. My IR is Jaden Daniels and CJ Stroud.
Okay.
So,
which one is that? Which league are you referencing, James?
The last minute league.
Okay, with Bill's league, where the defensive premium seems to be there. We seem to have a QB premium too there, because Patrick Mahomes is predicted to get me almost 50 points. So there seems to be a QB premium here as well.
Yeah. So this week I'm running out JJ McCarthy, Derrick Henry, Javonte Williams, Saquon Barkley. My wide receivers are Dobbs and Robinson from the Giants. My tight end is Kettle. My flex is Dwaddle from Carolina, and my defense is the Bucks. And I'm going to have to get a kicker because my kicker is on by.
So as to not want to help you in any shape, form, or fashion, I definitely feel bad for your whole like McCarthy situation. Are you really running JJ McCarthy out there, or is that something that you're really going to do?
Well, as of now, there's no quarterback out there that really kind of gets, the quarterbacks that are available in my
I would
league.
trust Brissett over.
But you just told me that Kyle Murray's starting.
No, Kyler Murray is probably out for the year. Kyler Murray's done. Kyler Murray's done. Brissett is probably going to get that start. Brissett's going to get that start for sure. Let me see. Yeah, he's going to be. So, and he's available. So let me go ahead and give you this nugget right here, James, just because I feel good for you. I feel bad for your situation. I would definitely start if you have JJ McCarthy starting. We'll see how this goes next, because this could definitely come back to bite me. But you got McCarthy starting. What I would do is I would bench JJ McCarthy and I would start Jacoby Brissett. Is what I would do.
Wait a minute.
In your circumstance.
Oh yeah, Jacoby. Let's see, Jacoby, Bryce Young.
Yeah, I would start those guys over McCarthy now myself.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I will pick up Brissett.
Yes, I do what I can, man. Changing lives on this show. That's what I want to do. You know what I mean?
Okay, so let's see. What's our next one here? You said
that was the last minute league. Now the Extraordinary Gentleman League. That's the league I am 8-3 in that league. So let me go ahead and look at that league.
That's our keeper league, I believe.
That's the keeper league, correct? And I have an incredible what you call it in that league, incredible team in that league.
Right now in that league, I'm in 6th place.
Goodness gracious! You were 5th place in our last league, there, James.
I know. But I got waxed last week.
So I was first in our last league, but I'm third in this league. But I'm only one game behind. I'm 8-3 in this league. I'm only one game behind the
Now,
guys in front of me are
now,
9-2.
now this league here, uh, the Extraordinary Gentleman League. Let's see. I'm
Gave
running
me
out.
nothing just now, by the way, in that league.
I'm running out. Jalen Hurts, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Jones Sr., which I might make a change there. Rico Dow. Uh, Nico Collins did get me, what's this, 8.5 points, which is relative. Like I said, if you didn't have the Texans defense here, it's like, and then I have Stephon Diggs, Trey McBride, AJ Brown. I have the Packers defense, and Jacoby Myers is my kicker. Now I can run out Jared Goff here or Hurts. So,
I'm running Hurts out over Goff for sure.
and I can run. Here's another one where I could run James Williamson out uh, over Stephon or AJ. AJ is playing at Dallas, so I'm kind of skeptical about putting him on the bench. Uh, let's see. I'm benching Kyle Pitts, and I'm also benching Jennings against Carolina too. So
Okay, so who are you starting at your wide receivers over Jennings?
my wide receivers over Jennings are, well, Collins has already played, so I can't do that. But I could run AJ Brown. He's in my flex. So
Okay, so AJ Brown's in your flex. So no, you would never start Jennings over AJ Brown. And then Collins, why you had Collins on your bench or Collins? You started Collins, right?
yeah, I started
Of course,
Collins,
of
but
course.
he only
Okay, so
but
then
he,
no, then that's why he's on your bench. There you go. You're
yeah,
not starting him over those guys.
no. Now the league that I am always in contention for is our sports crib league.
Okay, let's go back
Right.
to that league here. That league, I am currently. Let's see. In this league, I am first in my West division here, tied for first, but there's three guys tied for first. And if I was looking at, we got one guy, Friar Todd Simmons is just
Now,
destroying us. He's
are you in
ten
the
and
East
one.
or the West?
I'm in the West, and I'm tied for first in the West, but we have the same record, James. We brought 7-4. So we're all, you
Okay.
see, we have a three-way tie for first place in the West. And everybody else is 7-4, and then we're destroying everybody below us because the next people below us are 3-8.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. So who are you starting there?
I'm running golf out there. I have Derrick Henry, Bijan Robinson, Zay Flowers, Ted McMillan, Trey McBride, Alex Pierce, the Lions defense, and Tyler Loop running them out there. I feel pretty good about this, man. I like this team. Okay. This is not a team that I love, but I like it.
You know, it's funny. I'm looking at, I just told you I got 8.6 from Nico. Well, in the Sports Crib League, I got 8 points from Prater, the kicker.
Man, well, I mean, so I don't know if one went off and one didn't. I'm not sure exactly what that even means.
So what was your lineup there again?
It was
You
Jared
got
Goff,
golf.
Derrick Henry.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm starting Goff at the quarterback position. My only other option there would have been Justin Fields, and then I have Jackson Dart in that league. So Jackson Dart's my actually starter there. So as soon as Dart can come back, he's going to be who I actually start, and Goff is kind of my backup there. This is a league though where I drafted Justin Fields in this league as the starter. I had a Fields, Garrett Wilson stack here, but both have not worked out.
Now, let's see. I'm running out Stafford, Gibbs, Rico Dow. He's been pretty good for me this year. Stephon Diggs, Wendell Robinson, Dallas Goedert, Dobbs from Green Bay, and I'm taking the Jacksonville defense against
Yeah, I took
Arizona.
them as well.
And as I said, but now my bench is like I have a chance here, and I'm really thinking about this because Stafford is playing against Tampa Bay, but I have Sam Darnold, whose matchup is against Tennessee. So that is something to think about.
It's not really for me. It's easy because you got kind of a similar team as my home team because I have Gibbs and Stafford in my home league, and I have this Stafford Devontae Adams stack there. I mean Stafford's position ranked 5, okay, and he's playing. His matchup is good. Sam Darnold's matchup is not as good, and his position rank is 16. So it's not to say that Sam Darnold can't come out and destroy. Sam Darnold can't come out and destroy Stafford this week. It absolutely can happen. But me personally, when I see statistics like that, I never want to make the smartest guy in the room decisions like that. Like I never want to be like, oh, well, I went against all conventional wisdom because I can live with one of these guys going off, right? I can live with Sam Darnold going off because statistically across the board, it didn't say he would, even though we know any given Sunday. I can't live with Matt Stafford going off because statistically across the board, it says he will. I was the smartest guy in the room, decided I wanted to go with the other guy, even though statistically everything said that this guy was going to do better. I can't live with that. Like me personally, one would, but this is a very personal decision in the sense of like one would bug me more than the other. You know what I mean? So whenever I got 2 quarterbacks and I got to leave one on my bench, which one can I live with going off more on my bench than the other? You know, and there's some that I just can't. Like when you bench a stud because you feel like you bench a stud for a matchup and that stud goes off and you're like, I should have just not even thought about it. I should have just put him in, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I don't make those kind of fantasy mistakes anymore. I'm riding a hot hand. I'm rolling Stafford out there until – and I got the Stafford Drake May situation. I got the guys that are like right there in quarterbacks. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at 2 guys that are both single-digit ranked quarterbacks and deciding matchup. But I'm going to run out Stafford out there this week, and that's only because I like Baker. I like Baker, and I think Baker is going to put up some points.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you look at personnel, all around personnel, then you have to go with Stafford. When you got Karan Williams, you got Nuka. But then you look at like Tennessee, who hasn't beaten anyone all season, and you're talking about the number 1 wide receiver, and you're talking about Kenneth Walker the third. Only thing Sam has to do is really manage the game.
Correct. I don't anticipate like. We all know we don't have crystal balls, but Tampa Bay could put up 30. Baker could put up 25, 30 points. You know what I mean? And the thing is like I need a team to have to hold serve with that. You know what I mean? Now, we all know that you can come out there and see a game like Justin Herbert have where they put up like 6, 10 points. We've seen that happen time and time again and see these letdowns happen throughout the season. But I don't try to have like a crystal ball here more so than just go with the statistics. So every game, if I run him out there every single game, statistically speaking, he will do better than the field a lot of times. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to predict the future here. And I'm just going to run him out there, see what happens. And then on any given week, just do I feel good about my team? You know what I mean? Do I feel good about the team I have out here? And I would never feel bad about running Stafford out there. Darnold either, to be honest with you, how he's playing.
I think the most difficult and disappointing for me this whole season is that we're already on week 12.
Yeah, running through it. We got
I
about
mean,
6 more weeks, man. 6 more weeks, and this thing's out of here. We're going into the playoffs, man.
yeah, I know. Yeah, it seems like we just started last month. But anyway, hey man, thanks for joining me this Saturday morning.
Yeah,
Appreciate
buddy.
as always. Chris is going to be gone this week and next.
Yeah,
So
he's traveling.
we'll be in the playoffs by the time he gets back in some league.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope to be in the playoffs by the time Chris Bass. Good luck to everybody else in the playoffs. And also, James, I'm going to spend my final moment here, as I'm going to do until you get better in our DraftKings league. I got to see you showing up, James. Now, and here's the thing. I've won now that DraftKings league about 3 times. You know what I mean? And I feel very, very happy about that. I got to tell Chris, I can't wait for Chris to get back so I can let him know, because Chris jumped in there and won it like twice out the gate. He jumped in and won it twice immediately. You know what I mean? And I felt some kind of way about that, because I hadn't, that's about that matched my wins within your first 3 to 4 weeks. But then I won another, so I feel very good. I'm not even sure Chris was playing. So yeah, James, I mean, we need to see you out there, man. I know you're capable of getting some wins. How many more weeks we got? We're in week 12, okay? We're gonna take it all the way up to week 18, man.
Oh, okay.
We got 6 more weeks. We're taking this thing all through. We're not stopping week 13 here. And with this DraftKings league, I want to go all the way up to we're going to go take it all the way up to week 18.
All right, man.
And we're going to see, man. Well, you got 6 more weeks to notch at least 2 to 3 wins, man. Let's just get a couple wins under the belt, James.
All right, man. I will, as every time I tell you that I'm going to go in and get in there, I come in last. But I'm going to go back in again. But I'm gonna. Hey, at least I don't have to worry about drafting a bunch of bills, because that's over with. So
yeah, right. And with DraftKings, it hope springs new. Her hope springs eternal every Sunday. That's one of the main reasons I like playing it. And don't forget to check out Smash Up Sports as well. Set those Smash Up lineups, guys, as well. Well, I'll see you next time.
All right, man. You have
a
good weekend, and I'll see you next week.
All right. Sounds good, bud. See you.
All right. Have a good one.